Alrighty, so we're actually on the air now. The official, what are we going to call this, VD? I guess I'm going to call it
I think the
episode,
ROFL House show.
yeah, ROFL House Show. I went ahead and labeled it, just so you know, episode 1.5, since we had the beautiful debacle that I kind of had the other night where we just kind of winged it. But this is the official 1.5 episode. So welcome. So yeah, how's your day been?
It's been really good. I've been playing Dust all day.
Awesome. Any cool war stories? Anything happen?
Um, I don't know how much I can say with this
Yeah,
NDA.
you're right, right? Well, either way, I mean, you had a good time. I played a little bit this morning. I did get to do some orbital strikes for KAQ this evening, and they're actually at the tail end of the last couple streams there. So I got those on there. That was kind of a little bit of awesome. I hadn't got to do that up to now, so I have to admit I was a little bit geeked out about like, ooh, I get to shoot at a planet. It's kind of cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So tonight we're just going to kind of, I guess, just do an introduction to us and the show and the community, and hopefully we'll get some viewership that's a little bit engaged and want to talk a little bit back and forth in future episodes and whatnot. But yeah, we're just going to kind of take it easy and talk about what we're about and the alliance and stuff like that.
All right.
So, okay. Yeah,
Where do you
alrighty.
want us to start?
Yeah, well, why don't we start with you? Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Virgin Destroyer 7. I'm also known as Mustache Rider 7 in Dust 514, and I am the co-CEO of Onslaught Inc.
Awesome gamer tag for Dust, by the way. I've had a lot of positive feedback from people on that. They're always like,
Oh,
hey.
really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of guys that are they're like, hey, who's that dude? I'm like, it's not a dude, and they're like, that's a little bit of awesome. So
That's good. Good to
yeah,
hear.
absolutely. Obviously, VD, you get to play a lot more Dust than I do, but I hope to play a little bit more than that. I am Mitachi, Alliance leader of ROFL Alliance, or Rise of Legion. Um, Basically, I try to do a little bit too much of everything and just have a good time. I'm heavily embedded in EVE, but I have a strong passion for FPSs, so that's how we came to be, this beautiful, beautiful little thing that we have here. So yeah, so I guess we should start out with who is Rise of Legion? Who is our alliance, I guess, right? Is that what we should talk about first, I guess? Yep.
I think it's a good place to start for sure. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Raffle's story?
Sure. I can get long-winded, so I won't go crazy into detail. But basically, it all started out with me getting a little bit more involved in a game called Mag a while back when it first came out. I had actually gone to Mag because I had heard rumors about Eve, my favorite game of all time, making an FPS. And there was heavy rumors that this would most likely be on either PlayStation or Xbox at the time. And once Mag came out, it was leaning heavily towards PlayStation. So I was like, I was a heavy Xbox gamer. I really wanted to, get involved in a community of people that, were heavy into FPSs, but most of my friends played Xbox. So I thought Mag would be a great opportunity to meet some people and kind of, sow my oats, so to speak, over in the PlayStation area. So that's where I got to meet the group VC and Kushmir and some of the other guys, and I guess the history of Mag went on from there. I didn't stay in Mag a long time, but I ended up making some good friends over there. And once Dust actually showed up on the map at that Fan Fest, and everybody saw it on PS3, I started getting a lot of phone calls. And yeah, from there we just started forming things up. If people want to read more of the full story about all that stuff, they can go over to our website at, we have a link, don't we? At our main site of riseoflegion.com, and then go over to the blogs, and it has a whole deal on it. But yeah, it's a long story. it's a very long story, but it's really been fun to kind of breathe new life into Eve, so to speak, because we have a lot of people coming over from the FPS groups, and they just a lot of them taking up Eve and just both hands and love it. I'm afraid I've turned some PlayStation gurus into like total Eve Care Bears now, but yeah, it's kind of what's been going on with that. So yeah, right now, ROFL's kind of we're heavily engaged, as you know, in factional warfare and having fun with that. You know, um, Dust came out into it's not quite an open beta yet, but it's finally on our server, and we're actually able to at least talk to each other and see each other in local there. So we can definitely talk and reveal that. So it's been exciting up to this point.
Sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah. So I know you had a little stint on Eve, didn't you?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I tried it out for a little
Yeah.
bit, just because I wanted the, um, I don't know, just to see what it was all about and stuff, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah. Definitely not for everybody, but we do encourage people to, if you do want to try it out. If not, I mean, obviously Dust is a great platform just to get engaged and have some fun. It's the great thing about this is you can have a serving sample of what you want. But Eve is not a easy game. They call it a learning cliff for a reason, and I think some of our players have discovered that. So. So yeah, that's kind of where we are with things right now. I mean, we're all quickly anticipating the open beta aspect where we can go heavy into detail more about Dust and really answer more questions back and forth and do those sort of things. But right now we're kind of in stasis. We kind of got our NDA gags on, so it's kind of tongue in cheek, so to speak, I guess.
But open beta means that the NDA is lifted, right?
Absolutely. And when the NDA is lifted, oh my God, I guess we got a million things to talk about and cry about and celebrate and all our good stuff. So we are getting very close, and we are heavily excited. Matter of fact, as I don't know if you saw it, VD, but as we started to get all of our FPS players in the actual alliance now, what did we move up? We moved up past the top 100 growing alliances in the whole game out of 2,000. So that's pretty
Yeah, I
exciting.
see that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's given it's a bunch of Dust players right now, and we can't really impact each other because of the way the game's set up, but it's exciting that we have that kind of following in the community that people really want to get in and have a go at Dust and have high hopes that CCP will follow through with a lot of their commitments and promises and make this a beautiful one universe, one war. So we'll hope for that. But I digress. Get back where back where I take us off on the happy trails there. So we're going to talk about some of the high-level goals, I think, of the Alliance, to clearly define where ROFL's at with things and, what we kind of want to do as a group.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that too?
Okay, I could do that. Let's see. Basically, the vision for ROFL on a very high level, without going into too much detail, we really want to try to make this game of Dust the FPS we always wanted. A lot of us always have played games like Call of Duty or Battlefield 3 or, if you're old school like me, some way back games like Battlefield 2 and 1942 and all these other computer games. But they really lacked the depth of what we wanted. They were, at best, you'd play them for 6 months a year on the long set if you had an engaging community of people. And then you guys would rally up from the next game, or you'd have to, go on to now it's like a new game every 3 to 4 months. So it's great, but it gets expensive. On top of the fact it's not really engaging anymore. You see the newer guys coming in and they're burn out a game in 2-3 weeks. They're just done with it. You max level, that's it. There's nothing to fight for. It's just KDR matches, and that's the end of the day. So what we're hoping for with Dust is to provide that extra level of content, that extra level of depth and achievement to where not only grow a community around it, but be able to pursue it to the next level stuff to where we're playing it 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, and you can engage as heavy or as light as you want. If you just want to log in, play a match or two, great. If you want to get heavily involved in a corp or an alliance like ROFL, you can, and you can actually have influence in that group and influence something beyond the FPS in this huge space battle and territorial control type thing. So we really hope to make Dust, or do whatever we can as players to support Dust and push it in the direction that's really going to benefit the entire community. I think that's a very important point to make, because majority of our alliance are Dust players, and that's why they all believe in this goal, and that's why they've joined us.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all excited about that. The second high-level goal that we have is to, this is more of a selfish goal of my own, but to introduce some fresh blood into EVE Online. All we have in EVE, in my experience, we have, a trickle of new pilots, but a lot of people have experiences like VD did. Like you had the whole challenge of coming in. It's a learning cliff. Plus, as a co-leader of your corporation, you have a lot of obligations and stuff in real life, and then you just want to have fun. So you said, nah, this isn't for me right now. I'm just going to play some Dust and have some fun with the guys and grow my group of people over here. But the big challenge we've always had in EVE is we've had the same people that are playing for the past 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and it's almost become this stagnant growth. If you're an EVE player, you're very well aware of the situation with the CFC and Test Alliance that basically own or control or dominate 2/3 of the entire map when it comes to space. If they're basically not telling an alliance what to do, they're coming in and purging it out within a week or two. And, I applaud them for their growth and their effort, but at some point, for us, the other players, we want to get into the game. We want to have some fun and not have to, put our Test Alliance or Goon Swarm badges on. So I think it's really good to get some more fresh players in that aren't necessarily under the thumb of other people right off the bat, let them make their own decisions, and maybe have some of these same opportunities like Goons and the other people did when they first came into the game. They saw an elitist empire. They saw that. They were able to grow their community base, and then they were actually able to topple it, which I applaud them for a great achievement, with the conquering back in the day of Bob and some of the other major people that put them down because they were such young people. A lot of what Dust players are experiencing right now, they're the outsider, they're the outcast. They're like, oh, you have no place here. But I challenge those players to come in, learn a little bit on EVE, or just play Dust and see how we can work as a community to grow. Over 80% of our active pilot base up till very recently was entirely crossover players from Dust 514 that had come over, learned the game of EVE, embraced it, and gotten ships, and were out there kicking people, kicking the crap out of smaller groups or equal-sized groups to us that have 2 to 3 times the experience, ability, and money. And that's just good fun, I mean, we might die in a fire now and then and do all that, but when you go out and you get kills on like established player groups like Goons or FA or anybody else out there, it's a good time. And to see a young player get excited about that reinvigorates somebody like me, who you might classify as a bitter vet otherwise, where we sit around ho-hum about the way EVE is and how it used to be in my day and all that crap. It's time to kind of embrace those guys. Exactly. Embrace those guys, bring them into the fold, let's get them in some of these alliances and have some fun. So, third and final objective is we just want to blow shit up. I mean, we want to kill people, we want to shoot face, we want to blow up ships, we want to have some fun. So, we don't really care about your SP level as much as, you want to come in, get the same vision, and have some fun with us, and, do your thing. So, that's it.
That's it?
That's it. That's it. I know that was a long. I got hung up on number 2, didn't I? I was like.
Well, I think, for me anyway, that number 1 and 2 is leadership is the most important. And I really want to reach out to people out there who haven't found a corp to really do it. Having like a clan or a corp to play this game with will really change your whole experience. And there is clans within ROFL that are recruiting for Dust 514 right now.
Yep, absolutely. Me. I need some Dust players. Absolutely. All right. Well, you might be able to talk a little bit more about this one. Originally, we had talked about doing a podcast, right?
We had, but we switched it to doing a live stream.
Absolutely. Um, you want to go into why we switched it up, other than the fact that I was just like one day had a wild idea and was influenced by Ansar and some of the other guys. And,
Um, Maybe you should go into that.
okay, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know when when you and I talked a little bit, and then I talked to Ansar and the other people. I think what originally started that was the fact Ansar and some of the guys have been streaming other games, just randomly because a lot of the guys get a little burnout here and there, and they want to, we encourage players to play other games as long as they can get in the group and play with us on even dust and those type of things too. But they had seen a lot of following and a lot of interactive, communication and stuff on the streams, and we were like, everybody else is doing a podcast already. Why not just wing it and do a live stream and just have fun with it? You know, podcasts are great, but I already am long-winded. Can you imagine not nobody being able to interrupt me or stop me, and I just talk for an hour or two? That could get really boring. So so yeah, I think changing it up to this allowed us to do some other things that we normally wouldn't be able to do with the community live. You know, so I think that's the main basis around that. Um, it's one of the other things I noticed that we have a lot of fun doing is we were able to do not only the show, but daily, me and some of the other guys are able to, just stream what we're doing, whether we're running fleets, having fun, and it opens a doorway for Dust players and Eve players to kind of see the other side. As soon as the NDA is lifted, we do plan on streaming, open beta Dust 514, so that way all of our other fans and followers can also check that out, ask questions, and just take down the barriers so we can just have some fun with it.
I don't know. It's a good approach. I like it. I think it's a good idea.
Yep. My secret main goal though is to get on a game, even though I'm horrible at Dust, get on a game and shoot VD and have it on a stream.
It's not going to happen.
We'll make
Just
it
you.
happen. I might have to pay some people off, but we'll see what we can do to make it happen. So,
What?
absolutely. So, I'm just kidding.
No, you wouldn't. Army Ghost just said in our chat room that he'd watch that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, if people want to watch it, we'll make it happen. I think people probably get a better kick watching me die, but it gets old because it happens quite frequently. So, Royal knows. Royal shoots me all the time. So,
Actually, Royal had mentioned that he is going to be setting up a live stream for Dust once the NDA is lifted. So that's something to look forward to as well from ROFL.
absolutely. And we invite all our members too. We're going to incorporate them. We're making a new community page for ROFL TV. And, we want all our guys to be able to stream, have fun, and do that stuff and provide like a directory for all the different corps and groups to do that sort of thing. So it's not definitely limited to one or two people. So we hope to kind of expand that. So what else here? Let's see. We were going to talk about. Well, yeah, you were going to talk about who do we currently have inside ROFL?
Well, ROFL is actually comprised of a whole bunch of different corps. There's the Eve side, which is Sons of Legion
Mm-hmm.
and Handsome Playboy Millionaires. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep. Or we call them Hamp B, but yeah, absolutely. Because I don't like saying all those words because I'll screw it up too.
And that's a really strong base for us on the Eve side. And then within the Corp side for Dust, we have Death Dealers, KEQ, also known as Kill 'Em Quick, PHI, which is Pro Hic Immortalis,
Mm-hmm.
VC, which is Valor Coalition, Sick, also known as Sick Nation, ONS, which is my Corp, Onslaught Inc. We have our German Corp, actually UPSNE,
Mm-hmm. Great guys over
which
there.
is United Ponage Service, Deadly Blue Dots, DVD, Crimson Ravens, which is CSRV, and Above the Rest, which is ATR. So we have a good big group of Dust players.
I know. Whenever you read it off too, it's like you don't really grasp how many different groups are in our alliance, but we have quite a few. It's really
Oh,
great.
you know what? I missed Pink Fluffy Bounty Hunters, PFBHZ.
They're
How
gonna
could I
give
forget
you
them?
crap. They're gonna give you so much crap for that.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're probably honestly are one of our strongest FPS groups right now, and they have some really good people over there.
I know there's
So,
been a couple times where we've played against them and we've looked at the scoreboard and been like, oh no. PFBHZ is playing on the other side. And actually today, me and Royal were playing a match and people of certain corps that I won't mention backed out of the battle. It was pretty terrible,
ooh, ouch,
right?
ouch. They weren't Raffle Corps, were they?
Of course not.
Okay, well, that's good. That's
I'm
good.
willing to give them a run for their money.
Absolutely, it's all in good fun and stuff, and we definitely do that. We do also have like recently, I think PFBHZ is actually the people who formulated our first alliance tournament, which with CCP's announcement of shifting gears, moving everything to TQ and stuff, we had to kind of put on pause. But we look forward to that coming back out. Which Jay and the guys over there, Jay and Inhuman, did a really good job formulating that and getting all the guys organized for that. So it's really good for the Dust community. At least inside our alliance. Hopefully one day we'll actually host a public tournament like that, but we'll wait for CCP to see what tools they give. Um, yeah, but all the guys are really engaged. We have great leadership in almost all the corporations, and I was talking to Annex today, and it's really good to have a Euro contingent that's so engaged and really uh, just on the ball. I mean, people contact them. They tend to we work together hand in hand, with new opportunities, new groups. I think I talked for about 2 or 3 hours on another German corporation that actually used to be part of Test and FCon, and I think they were also FA and all that other stuff the other day, and really good people over there and stuff. So they're definitely coming over and contacting us. They're hearing about what we're doing, and they're interested, especially because of our Dust base. So it's good that the Dust players are getting some notoriety and seeing that they may be a valuable tool to be used in the future by Eve Corps. But um, it's interesting. It's interesting that you actually get Eve Corps coming over thinking about applying to ROFL just because of your Dust base. So that really says something about the game.
One of the coolest things that I've noticed with the integration to the Eve servers is that our local has been jumping a lot, and there's been a lot of Eve people who've been messaging our Dust players directly to ask questions about how Dust is going to be integrated with the game and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. I mean, if you've been flying as an Eve pilot, if you've been flying around space, you'll see hubs. I think there's over 50 different little hubs that you can see the Dust players have integrated into based on whatever NPC group or whatever their main based race area is. Where yeah, I've seen some of that on the Eve side too, where people are just asking questions in local. Some of them are probably hinging on violating NDA and local, not really thinking about it because they're on a closed beta talking in a public thing. But either way, it's good fun. People are really interested in what's happening, and yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that level of communications there. Also, you see some fantastic trolling. There's always a some bittersweet comments back and forth, but I think it's all good fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think we're going to go into a little bit more about what the format of our podcast is looking to do. We're kind of gonna have a little bit of a mixture, but we're gonna kind of mirror the way our alliance is formatted, like the way we do a community, the way we do discussions, where we like to have, me and VD probably be the primary hosts of the show, but we're gonna have guest hosts, some of our friends for the CSM from Eve. Also, we invite some of our friends and frenemies from out there in Dust, to come on and just have a good time and talk things out. And after the NDA is lifted, we'll talk about game mechanics and EPing about which one we think is the worst one or the best. But all that stuff. So we're going to really try to blend it between the two worlds, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eh?
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 What you talking about?
There you go. So yeah, the interaction between the two games and all that stuff. I think it's going to be a great show and good time for everybody to enjoy. So, um, let's see what else we got there. Certain topics changes. Yeah, just we'd like the community. If you do have questions, be sure you can send them to us to here. You can join our public forums on the riseoflegion.com. We'll throw a little link up on that when we get a sec. But yeah, we're gonna definitely open up the lines of communication to everybody. We want people to kind of filter back and forth, good or bad. We ask that you don't get too vulgar on here. We like to keep stream up, but definitely like to have a good time. And you'll probably see at least one or two drunk fleets going out if you watch some of the streams during the week. So our guys do like to enjoy themselves with a good tasty beverage, as all good space monkeys do. So yeah, I think that's really the gist of what we wanted to go on this. We could talk about, some of the things I was thinking about talking about next time on the show.
Well, I have actually a couple questions here from the
Oh, okay.
chat.
Yeah, we could do that.
Um, Armagos is asking, who's your favorite ROFL FC?
Ooh, man, that's hard. We got a lot of good ones, man. Putting on the pressure. That's one of my court members. I'm going to go over there and I don't know. I think all the guys have their own style. We have some guys that really strive. They're good at Black Ops. Some guys are excellent Capital FCs. Um, some FCs prefer to run the small gangs. Some like the 50-man gangs. I don't know that we have a bad FC in the group because they all have their strengths. And the best thing is like knowing your strengths and your weaknesses is key when you're actually trying to guide a bunch of other guys by the nose around and have a good time. So that's a hard question. I'll have to think on that and probably get back to you on that one because they're all good. Obviously, Gordon stands out front because he has a lot of veteran experience and he still knows how to have a good time. He's not a bitter vet. And anybody who's been in the game as long as Gordon and some of the Playboys and can still just run a fleet and we can all still have fun, I give him real big kudos. So.
I kind of feel like that was a wishy-washy answer. Like, you didn't pick anybody.
It kind of was. Did you see how I danced around that? It's like, I had put on my dancing shoes. So I kind of had to do that. But, I mean, there's no way to pick anybody and not sound like a douche. So.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Another thing that somebody wanted us to mention was there is a channel on Dust, actually. If you go to create a channel or create/join a channel, it's LFOB, which is looking for orbitals. And there's people in there who are Dust players or EVE pilots that are looking for orbital strikes, and also pilots who are willing to do them, depending on which contract you're looking for.
Yes. I also have handsomely dubbed that the bait channel because as this thing goes fully open, I imagine that will become a great resource of novelty for most of our fleet pilots.
Right.
So, but yes, it is good. It's good that people are actually making these channels and trying to coordinate some stuff to have some fun. So, absolutely. Anything else out there?
No.
Nope. I think that's it. All right. Well, I know one of the things I know I have some of my, if you can believe, super nerds inside Eve. Imagine that. That I want to talk about is obviously the Crest API stuff that they've released with the new API information that's coming out. This will be, for those of you who don't know, this will also caveat into releasing an API for Dust. So it's really exciting. It's going to have new possibilities both for Control and Eve in Dust 5.14. So it'll allow us to do all sorts of things like review remote skill queues, come up with fittings remotely, all sorts of different things that are just going to allow us more control when we're not engaged on the PlayStation or on the PC. So it's going to be good stuff. Also, we're going to try to touch upon more Eve and Dust questions, so be sure to have those ready to go. And other than that, I'm sure we'll have some good happenings to share with you between now and then. So we'll have some good stuff. Yeah, you see Kush in there. Kush is trying to get us kicked already.
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah,
trolled too.
yeah, yeah, big time, big time. All right, guys. Well, that's. I think we're gonna wrap it up for this episode, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't think I have any more questions or anything else to talk about right now.
Yeah, I think we're just doing a little intro, let people get familiar with who we are and all that good stuff, and we'll probably have a surprise guest or two on the next one, and we'll see how that goes. So look for the next episode. Should be on Thursday, same time, 10 p.m. CST, and yeah, should be good.
Who's a surprise guest?
I can't tell you.
No, I love surprises. I want to know.
I know. Well, you'll be super surprised, and you'll really
All
enjoy it.
right,
All right?
I'll have to wait.
Exactly. We'll all have to wait. All right, guys. So from Mitachi and my co-host, her name
Virgin
Virgin.
Destroyer 7.
There you go. We're gonna say goodnight, and we'll see you all on Thursday.